I wonder if you've ever tried to change your TV company or internet provider. So we get phone and TV and internet all from the same place, and every couple of years as the current contract comes to an end, I go shopping around to see if I can get a better deal anywhere else. And one year I distinctly remember phoning BT, who I was with at the time, and saying that I'm thinking of leaving, and can you possibly do me a better deal, because I think I can find a better one somewhere else. And the man on the phone very apologetically said that what they were offering me was the best that they could possibly offer. And so I spent the next week or so researching all the other companies and working out what I needed and what was best. And eventually I ended up signing up with Sky. Because I wanted to keep my home phone number, Sky got in contact with BT to get the transfer all sorted. And almost immediately, BT phoned me. They phoned me and said, "We've got a better deal for you." Gone was that apologetic man who couldn't find anything better. They had a better deal for me. And so I call Sky back and I say to Sky that I'm going to stick with BT because they've got a better price for me, and the nice Sky man then offers me an even better deal with even more football that I could watch. And anyway, about 6 phone calls later, I ended up with the same package that I'd already had, but only at about half the price. And all I can remember thinking is how much hassle it was, and that surely it should not have had to be so hard. Surely it shouldn't be so difficult just to get the best price. There are other things in life I think similarly about. Surely it shouldn't be this hard. And I'm sure you can relate. I'm sure that there are plenty of things in your life that are just more difficult than they should be, than they need to be. I sometimes think that sharing our faith with other people is one of these things. Because, everybody loves to share good news. If you've won a holiday to some exotic island, if you've got a promotion, or your child or grandchild just graduated, if babies have been born or people have proposed to other people, we love to share the good news. We want to tell people. Sometimes we'll even do our best to get in there first, to share the good news before anyone else does, because we want to see the surprise and joy on the face of those that we're speaking to. I love sharing good news. I love sharing good news so much that I am prone to telling people about stuff like what a lovely nap I've had, because to me that seems like good news, or how I just told a joke in church and people actually laughed. I love sharing good news, even the smallest good news. And at Easter time, which we're coming up to now, in church, we celebrate the most profound thing, the most powerful thing, the most amazing thing that has ever happened in all of time. That God himself lived as a human man, died and rose again, and in doing so restored our relationship with God, set right the brokenness at the heart of creation, made a way for us to flourish as human beings. And as Christians, we claim that our relationship with Jesus, with God, is the most important relationship in our lives. And yet, whilst we'll happily talk to other people about our children and grandchildren, about our parents and friends and partners, somehow speaking about Jesus just seems to be so much more difficult than it should be. There are many things I could say about this. I'll try and limit myself to just 2 or maybe 3. The first thing is this: do not forget that we are in a spiritual battle. I was speaking about this on Sunday as we reflected together on the end of Ephesians 6. I think that a big part of the reason we find it harder than we should to share our faith, harder to share the good news of Jesus than other types of good news, is because we are facing spiritual opposition. And the only solution to this is to stand firm in the power of God, to put on our spiritual armour. And if you missed it, you can catch up on Sunday morning's worship here on our YouTube channel. We need to recognise we are in a spiritual battle. And we need to remember too that our God is Lord of lords and King of kings. He is greater than any other power that might stand against us. We need to go out to speak out in his power. And part of this process is continual prayer. Prayer for courage and for wisdom and for opportunity. I think the other thing we need to remember is that the good news is good news. Restoration with God, the flourishing of every human being, the transformation of the world, the renewal of all creation. This is good news. It is something to get excited about. Too often I look around church and we all look mildly depressed. Few of us look like we are reflecting on the best thing that has ever happened. And maybe when we speak to others about it, that is reflected in the way we talk to them. We should be excited by the good news. It should be something we want to share. And I guess finally, just like I did with my TV, phone and broadband package, sometimes even though it is more difficult than it should be, we just need to get on and do it anyway. Because sharing the love of Christ, speaking the name of Jesus, is part of the privilege of belonging to him. Even though as Christians we have the very best news to share, for some reason it all too often becomes one of those things that is harder than it should be. I wonder when the last time was that you spoke to someone outside of church about God. When was the last time you even mentioned Jesus in a conversation with someone that doesn't know him? Here's what I want you to do this week. Start praying about who God might want you to share the good news with this Easter time. Start praying for opportunities to speak to people about Jesus. And remember that the good news is good news for you and for me and for everyone else as well.